Good morning, bonjour. Veterans, distinguished guests, members of the Canadian Armed Forces, members of the Diplomatic Corps, welcome. I'm Master Corporal Afan David with the Cameron Highlanders of Ottawa, which at the time of D-Day was in the Heavy Weapons Detachment of the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division and the only Ottawa-based regiment to participate in the landings. And today, I have the honor of being your Master of Ceremonies as we mark the 80th anniversary of D-Day and the Battle of Normandy. As we mark this remarkable anniversary here in our nation's capital, a commemorative ceremony is taking place on the shores of Juno Beach, honoring the brave Canadians who served 80 years ago. Later this afternoon, the Government of Canada will host the Signature in Canada commemorative ceremony in Moncton, New Brunswick, where Second World War veterans will be in attendance. Chers invités, je suis la caporal-chef Afan David et j'ai l'honneur d'être votre maître de cérémonie. I acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional, unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. As guests, we are honored to gather here today, and we thank all the generations of Anishinaabe Algonquin people who have and continue to take care of the rivers that sustain life, the trees that shade us, and the paths that connect us. Je rends hommage à tous les peuples des Premières Nations, les Inuits et les Métis, à leurs aînés, à leurs ancêtres et à leurs précieuses contributions passées et présentes à cette terre. If you are able, please stand as the central band of the Canadian Armed Forces plays the national anthem of Canada. Si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national du Canada par la musique centrale des Forces armées canadiennes. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir. It is my honor to invite Sergeant Retired Wendy Jocko of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people to deliver welcoming remarks to their traditional territory. J'ai l'honneur d'inviter la sergente à la retraite Wendy Jocko du peuple algonquin Anishinaabe qui prononcera un mot de bienvenue.
Dear friends, honored veterans, respected elders and youth, Minister of National Defence Bill Blair, members of the Canadian Armed Forces, Veterans Affairs Canada, representatives of Allied Forces, special guests, Pejashin, Kakina, Tunisia, Gnongom, welcome and bienvenue to everyone here today. Anishinaabe akin ateawaso kikina wadijikan. This land we're upon is the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. It is a great honor and pleasure to welcome you to Algonquin territory, which has been blessed by the Creator with many gifts. The Anishinaabe Algonquin people are one heart and one soul and have lived for thousands of years on this unsurrendered territory. We thank and honor the land. We acknowledge the enduring presence of all First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people who call Algonquin territory their home along with other nations. We honor the important contributions of all veterans in the service to Canada, and we remember those who lost their lives and those whose lives were forever changed. As we gather here today at the home of the Cameron Highlanders and the Governor-General's Foot Guards at Cartier Square Drill Hall in the heart of Algonquin territory, we find ourselves standing on the precipice of history. Today, we commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day and the Battle of Normandy, a pivotal moment that significantly altered the course of World War II. The 6th of June, 1944 is an unforgettable date in world history. On this day, the Allied forces, including the United States, Britain, France, Canada, Australia, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, Greece, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, South Africa, and others, brought together the land, air, and sea forces of the Allied armies, launching the largest seaborne invasion in military history on the beaches of Normandy. This marked the beginning of the end for the Nazi Germany's control of Western Europe during World War II. The coordinated military action known as Operation Overlord was a massive and complex undertaking involving careful planning and cooperative efforts between many countries. 8 decades ago, on this very day, in 1944, thousands of brave soldiers from across the globe united in a single purpose: liberation. They embarked on the largest seaborne invasion in history, crossing the tumultuous waters of the English Channel to the land on heavily fortified beaches of Normandy, France. Their mission was one of utmost importance, their courage immeasurable, their sacrifice untold. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought on D-Day cannot be overstated. Many lost their lives or were injured in the battle. Their courage and determination played a crucial role in achieving victory. As the sun rose that fateful morning, it cast long shadows on the faces of those brave souls. Each wave that crashed against the sides of the landing crafts carried with it the thunderous echoes of war. Yet, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, hope remained steadfast, a beacon guiding their way. On the shores of Normandy, under a heavy sky with the weight of their responsibility, they fought. They fought for freedom, for justice, for a world free from the shackles of tyranny. Through the hail of bullets and the deafening roar of artillery, they advanced, their determination unwavering, their resolve unyielding. Their victory at Normandy was not just a military triumph, it was a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It was a declaration to the world that tyranny and oppression would not prevail, that the flame of freedom, once lit, cannot be extinguished. Today, 80 years later, we stand here not only to remember the courage and sacrifice of those valiant souls, but also to honor their legacy. The echoes of their bravery reverberate through the annals of history, a timeless reminder of their heroic deed. Despite significant challenges, including poor weather and fierce German defenses, the operation was successful, leading to the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. Beyond its military significance, D-Day also had profound political and social implications. It represented unprecedented international cooperation against a common enemy. The events of D-Day and the subsequent liberation of Western Europe significantly shaped the course of the 20th century and continue to impact our world today. As we commemorate this crucial milestone, let us remember the price of freedom. Let us remember the men and women who, in the face of grave danger, chose to stand and fight. And as we honor their memory, let us also commit to maintaining the freedom and peace they fought so valiantly to secure. In their honor, let us strive to uphold the values for which they gave their lives: freedom, justice, and equality. Let us remember their sacrifice was not just for the world as it was, but for the world as it should be. As we mark the 80th anniversary of D-Day and the Battle of Normandy, let us pledge never to forget their sacrifice. Let us pledge to honor their legacy by championing the freedoms they fought to protect, and let us pledge to strive for a world that is just, peaceful, and free from oppression. In closing, I offer these words: Iliu nama awena, maba nasema, minwan odawananan, gidaba gidimagam. We offer our prayers, tobacco, and our hearts. Daga ba wadoka wishnang, we minopamadzion. Please help us to live a good life. Ayuinata, never give up. Miigwech, thank you, merci beaucoup.
Miigwech, merci. It's tough to follow that. She very well described D-Day and the sacrifices therein, but I'll do my best to follow it up. We gather here today to commemorate a crucial moment in our shared history, D-Day and the Battle of Normandy during the Second World War. June 6, 1944, marked the largest naval, air, and land operation in history, involving troops from the United States and British allies. Avec environ 15 000 Canadiens qui ont participé au débarquement, ils ont pu progresser le plus loin au champ de bataille que toute autre force alliée ce jour-là. Victory in the Normandy campaign came at a terrible cost. Many made the ultimate sacrifice. Others returned home with injuries to body and mind that they carry to this day. Le voyage de ces braves Canadiens n'a pas commencé sur les côtes de la France, mais plutôt ici, au Canada, des villes de partout au pays. Ils ont quitté leur maison et leur famille, sans savoir s'ils y reviendraient un jour, guidés par le sens du devoir et de la liberté. Les troupes canadiennes ont fait preuve d'un courage remarquable et ont contribué à la libération de l'Europe occidentale. Sadly, 359 Canadian soldiers were killed on D-Day alone. Today, we remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and recognize the service of all Canadian Armed Forces members who returned from that campaign. Let us remember the courage of those who fought, the resilience of those who survived, and the legacy they all left behind. I hope their memory lives on in the heart of every Canadian. During the next few minutes, we will hear the last post, followed by a moment of silence, the rouse, and the lament. Au cours des prochaines minutes, vous entendrez le dernier appel, qui sera suivi par un moment de silence, le réveil et l'élégie. Chers invités, veuillez vous lever pour le dernier appel. Please rise if you are able for the playing of the last post. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir. I now invite Brigadier Ed Sandry, Colonel Retired Nishika Jardine, and Wendy Jocko to recite the Act of Remembrance in English, French, and Algonquin. J'invite maintenant Brigadier Ed Sandry, colonel à la retraite Nishika Jardine, et Wendy Jocko à réciter l'Acte du souvenir en anglais, français et algonquin.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age will not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Ils ne vieilliront pas comme nous qui leur avons survécu. Ils ne connaîtront jamais l'outrage, ni le poids des années. Quand viendra l'heure du crépuscule et celle de l'aurore, nous nous souviendrons d'eux. Nous nous souviendrons.
Kida, Majikig Teyesh, Ishkozeyong, Tosh, Kiji, Apitazing, Khan, Kida, Kiwi, Timozig, Onge, Apitazawin, Ashij, Endeso Paponagok, Kiji, Pagatinamong, Apish, Pangishimo Kizis, Ashij, Kigaze, Bawagok, Kiga, Mamidode, Nimagom, Kiga, Mamidode, Nimagom.
Merci. I now invite Oz Tripp and Amelia Burleton Smith to recite the commitment to remember on behalf of the youth of Canada. Au nom de la jeunesse du Canada, Oz Tripp et Amelia Burleton Smith réciteront la promesse du souvenir.
They were young as we are young. They served, giving freely of themselves. To them we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry their torch and never forget. We will remember them.
Ils étaient jeunes, comme nous. Ils ont servi et donné généreusement d'eux-mêmes. Nous leur promettons, en dépit du temps qui passe, de porter le flambeau et de ne jamais oublier. Nous nous souviendrons d'eux.
Thank you very much. Merci. As we remember, recognize, and honor the bravery of those who served during D-Day, I invite Lieutenant Navy Catherine Walker, the Canadian Armed Forces chaplain, to lead us in a moment of reflection. J'invite l'aumônière des Forces armées canadiennes, lieutenant de vaisseau Catherine Walker, à nous guider dans un moment de réflexion, s'il vous plaît.
Here, far from Normandy, we honor the courage and sacrifice of those who fought during the D-Day invasion. We now know that the element of surprise was key. So, most people had limited information, but braved the unknown with fierce resolve. Moving forward in the face of insurmountable odds, their hearts were braced by the gravity of their mission. Courage, some argue, is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in the face of it. Ce courage n'était pas seulement une nécessité militaire, mais un impératif total, incarnant la conviction que certains principes fondamentaux, tels que la liberté et la valeur inhérente de notre humanité commune, valent le sacrifice ultime. Trust was crucial for the success of the D-Day invasion. So soldiers, sailors, and aviators relied on their leaders, comrades, and on meticulous planning. They also trusted in a vision of a world free from violence and terror. Cette confiance s'étendait au-delà du champ de bataille pour englober les espoirs et les prières de millions de personnes qui aspirent à la paix. Trust, some say, is the foundation of all meaningful human endeavor. This is a trust that, despite extreme chaos and destruction, there exists a possibility for renewal and healing. The Allied forces' trust in each other and in their mission forged a unity that was crucial for the success of the invasion. This unity reflects the principle that we are interconnected, that our individual actions gain meaning within the larger setting of collective effort and shared purpose. Les hommes qui ont débarqué sur ces plages ne luttaient pas seulement pour leur propre survie, mais pour une vision d'un monde où les générations futures pourraient vivre dans la paix et la liberté. Their contribution set in motion a series of events that would redefine nations, ideologies, and global structures. This sacrifice underscores the depth of human courage and the extent and reach of a commitment to a greater good. The cost of D-Day to Canada was and remains immense in every aspect of life. This commemoration is an invitation to enter into that and to acknowledge that. But this is not merely looking back with grief. It is embracing the fullness of history and finding meaning and solace within it. Our National War Memorial is named The Response. Notre monument commémoratif de guerre nationale est nommé La Réponse. The two figures at the top are allegories of peace and freedom. They are holding each other up to symbolize how the two are inseparable. Standing together, they are upheld by the effort of those military personnel underneath. A memorial is not just a static monument. It is a sacred act and a living practice. It can happen anywhere, and it is happening here. To remember is a way of keeping the past alive within our present. As we remember D-Day, we are called to embody the values for which those military personnel fought and died. Their journey into the unknown, their courage, and their trust in the possibility of a better world are not just historical facts, but living principles that continue to guide us. Today, as we gather together, let us honor the legacy of those who fought on D-Day by embracing these values in our own lives. Let us find the courage to face our new unknowns, the strength to act with integrity, and the faith to trust in the possibility of a world where peace and freedom prevail. In doing so, we not only remember their sacrifice, but ensure that their legacy continues to shape a better world for generations to come. Aujourd'hui, alors que nous sommes unis, honorons l'héritage de ceux qui se sont battus le jour J en embrassant ces valeurs dans nos propres vies. Trouvons le courage d'affronter nos nouvelles inconnues, la force d'agir avec intégrité et la foi de faire confiance à la possibilité d'un monde où règne la paix et la liberté. Cette façon, nous nous souvenons non seulement de leur sacrifice, mais nous veillons à ce que leur héritage continue de façonner un monde meilleur pour les générations à venir. May it be so, let it be so. Qu'il en soit ainsi, qu'il en soit ainsi. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now proceed with the laying of wreaths. Au nom du gouvernement du Canada, on behalf of the Government of Canada, the Honourable Bill Blair. Au nom d'Anciens Combattants Canada, on behalf of Veterans Affairs Canada, Dawolu Sol. Au nom des Forces armées canadiennes, on behalf of the Canadian Armed Forces, Lieutenant Général Jenny Carignan. Au nom de l'ambassade de France, on behalf of the French Embassy, Monsieur Frank Marchetti. Au nom des vétérans, on behalf of veterans, Vice Admiral Retired Larry Murray. Au nom des vétérans autochtones, on behalf of Indigenous veterans, Wendy Jocko. Au nom de Jeunesse Canada, on behalf of Youth Canada, Mackenzie Lacaire and Xavier Yearlink. Au nom des États-Unis, on behalf of the U.S. Embassy, His Excellency David Cohen. Au nom de la Haute Commission britannique, on behalf of the British High Commission, Her Excellency Susanna Goshko. J'invite maintenant tous ceux qui souhaitent déposer une gerbe à le faire. I now invite any others who wish to lay a wreath to do so. Thank you, merci. If you are able, please rise for the royal anthem. Si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'interprétation de l'hymne royal. Ceci conclut notre cérémonie d'aujourd'hui. À toutes et à tous, je vous remercie de vous joindre à nous pour souligner cet anniversaire important. As this concludes the ceremony, we affirm our commitment to remembering the courage and hope of our soldiers who fought for something bigger than themselves all those years ago. And I hope the spirit of recognition and community felt today remains with all of us moving forward. Merci et bon après-midi.